Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a video on Joe Jackson, father of Michael Jackson, who recently passed away today. And I want to do a reading to clarify what was his relationship with Michael and what was going on during his lifetime now. Okay, so let's tune on to the floor. So along with all the celebrity deaths that we have experienced recently, Joe Jackson is diagnosed with cancer, and today he dies. And you know, like I mentioned in my last video of conspiracies, like it's just a very big parade, you know. So we're gonna see what was surrounding him throughout his death, okay, going on in his life. Okay, Joe Jackson. I'm going to pick one for him. Where he was heading in life, where he came from in life, what was setting in his life, and what was dawning in his life. This is the east side, this is my west side, this is my south side, and my north side. Okay. For Joe, he's had the star. Like, he considers himself maybe the fortunate father of a star, as you can see here. He sees himself as a man with motivation that channels inspiration and probably makes things happen. Okay. What's coming? Okay, what was ending in his life? Like, where was he coming from in his life? Not what was ending. Where was he coming from in his life? Prudence, carefulness, skills, applying, you know, even though he was old, I can see here that he still had a lot of enthusiasm to keep working and a lot of enthusiasm to do what he was doing. He's got here the 8 of disc, meaning that he was still at his age applying fine details to things he used to like, whether it was producing music, being in the studio, or putting a group together, or giving advice to young artists. But he was pretty much involved. Okay, now where was he heading in his life? He's got the Princess of Swords. The Princess of Swords is a rebel, okay? And she's a woman that she's not intimidated by anybody else that's rebellious. She's a careful examiner, and she really does, she cleans slates. Like, anything that she feels that needs to be cleaned out, truth that needs to be spilled out, she will do it, okay? I don't know if he had something he had to say. And, you know, I know that the Illuminati is real, so you never know if he's one of those people that has something to say and, you know, got rubbed the wrong way. So, now what was ending in his life? This is the west side. What was setting in his life? Wealth. He's got the 10 of disc. Wealth. Very wealthy man, I guess. You know, he earned a lot of money with his kids, you know, with all the artistry that his kids had, dancing, Michael, Janet, Latoya. Okay, what was dawning in his life? What was rising in his life? The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this man had a lot going on for 89 years old, let me tell you. See, he's got fortune here. He had a fortune coming to him. I don't know what he was doing. He probably had more businesses besides music. But yeah, it was very, very, I would say, positive reading for Joe Jackson. Very positive man. And a lot of people don't like him because, you know, there's rumors that there was abuse, that he used to abuse Michael and overworked him and all that stuff. And, you know, I could believe it because, I believe in the conspiracies of the MK Ultra and stuff like that. And kids that are abused as kids, you know, to perform and, you know, exploit the kids. But he was a very positive person here, you know. But this one is more of where he was heading to. He was pretty much probably rubbing people in the wrong way. And I believe this card came out for my other reading, I think in the Anthony Bourdain, for one of the people that I read there. The Princess of Swords came out. So that kind of raises an eyebrow for me. Okay, now I want to do a little short, I'm not going to do the Fortress, but I'm going to do a little short relationship between Michael and Joe Jackson, because I know people are going to ask. But since they're no longer around, why would I do the whole entire fortress? You get me? But I could actually do how they saw each other. Okay, I could actually do a spread that's very similar to the fortress. So let's see what kind of an insight we can get. And you know, there's conspiracies that Michael is still alive, you know, and it's very interesting. There's so many of them. Okay, this one's for Joe, and this one's for Michael. What was their relationship when they were both alive? Okay. How Joe saw himself, and how Joe saw Michael and his actions towards Michael. Same thing for Michael. How Michael saw himself in relation to his father, how he saw his father, and how he acted upon with his father. Okay, so let's see. How Joe saw himself in relations to Michael, the lovers. He saw a very big connection with Michael. All right, the lovers. May not be with Michael, but for him, the merging with Michael was very important. That's the role he saw in Michael's life and in his life in relationship to Michael. He saw that he had to, you know, merge the energies and probably his vision towards Michael. Maybe he was projecting what he always wanted to become, a singer and a famous dancer. And he was projecting all that onto Michael, and that's why he made Michael, you know, do what he had to do, because he felt frustrated that he couldn't accomplish that in his lifetime. So as a parent, he wanted his son to do it. And that's how I see the reading. How Michael saw himself in relation to Joe. He's got the Princess of Wands, and the Princess of Wands is a catalyst. And she frees herself from the tiger of fear, and she reaches higher levels of being. So I could see how this relates to Michael. Michael escaping Joe Jackson's tight regime. And yeah, and becoming free from that. Okay, so how does Joe Jackson see himself, okay, in this relationship? Okay. Truce, the Four of Swords. I guess he felt at peace after a while, you know, after Michael's passing. Or I think he didn't have any conscience of what he did, you know. This card symbolizes rest and truce. Okay, it doesn't really mean peace, it just means truce. Like, there could be an issue, but at the moment there's just a quiet energy. Okay, but for this reading, it would mean that he felt like there wasn't much to say about it. He was just tranquil about it. Now, how did Michael feel about it? Himself in the relationship? Death. Interesting. Death card. Michael probably wanted to emancipate himself from the whole family. Well, not the whole family, because he did like Janet. But maybe he wanted to free himself from the grips of Joe, you know. Or maybe he felt like he no longer belonged to that family anymore, you know. He kind of erased them completely. Because that's what the death card symbolizes. Death card symbolizes removing yourself from bondage. Okay, freeing yourself, liberating yourself, transforming yourself. Now, how did Joe Jackson see Michael? The Priestess. The Priestess is a very independent woman. She's a fast learner. And she's full of knowledge and wisdom. And that's probably how he saw Michael. He saw Michael as a person that could learn how to dance quick. A person that had a lot of talent and kept to himself, you know. Priestess is a very quiet woman. She's like a little nun or a librarian kind of prototype kind of person. So he probably saw Michael as a person that could go through long stretches like a camel in the desert and not need water, okay? How Michael saw Joe. Michael saw Joe as oppressive. He's got here the 10 of Wands. As you can see, here says oppression. So Michael was very oppressed by Joe, and I could totally see how this reading is so accurate, because here he's emancipating himself. Again, he's freeing himself, and the way he sees Joe is just oppressive, okay? And here I could totally see how it relates to Joe. Joe feels a very huge connection with Michael in relationship to Michael, that he feels like he's got to project all of his failures onto Michael and make him successful. And yet he feels, you know, has no compassion and no, how do I say, hard feelings about what he did, no conscience. And he sees Michael as a person that's, you know, that's very independent, okay, and learns really quickly. So I can see here the relationship that took place within their lifetime. So yeah, this is the inside for Joe Jackson, and well, the ending was Michael Jackson and Joe Jackson. But if you guys wish to request more readings, more celebrity readings, then comment on the video below, and I see you next time. Thank you guys.
Hey guys, check out my music channel where I write my own music, sing and play piano. Make sure to subscribe.